Do you avoid or put off hard conversations, difficult conversations, things that you know you need to talk to somebody about, but you put off and avoid it? If you're human, I would say and suspect that the answer to that is yes, unless you're like me and you've learned by some hard lessons that it's imperative to talk about and deal with situations sooner rather than later. A lot of times they're just misunderstandings, and both parties are making assumptions about the other party when if we just talked about it, usually we're much closer together than we think we are. I learned that in my primary relationship a long, long time ago, which I needed to have more difficult conversations and to change the trajectory of what was going on with that relationship and with my life. But it takes two people in a relationship, right? And if one person is for it and the other person is not and not committed, it's not going to work out no matter how many difficult conversations we have or things that we avoid. So we're talking about that today. We used and are doing the SOAP framework for dealing with a challenge area in the area of communication. And I picked, of course, listening, 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason. I have to remind myself of that every single day and continue to be a better, continually improving listener, because I think that that is one of those foundational skills. Every single one of us, if we become a better listener, we will improve the quality of our life. Why? Because everything we need to know is out there. Everything we need to know from another person, all we have to do is ask and then listen and actually listen to the answer. So we also, we used for deciding the A in our SOAP framework, which is to take action. What are we going to do? What action are we going to take? We use the Eisenhower matrix, and I talked through that. I did okay in the supersize you conversation, but I think in the supersize your business conversation, I totally meat axed that. So I suspect that I might have generated some or some questions more so than actually clearly describing that. It's one of my favorite tools. You make a quadrant, you put down the two matrices that are important to you, and then you ask yourself, it's important or not important, high, low, etc. And you put all of your decision points or your possible options into that matrix. And I always say the one that is significant or important and urgent, that's the thing I'm going to take action on. That's the thing I'm going to do first. And by using tools like that, it makes it much easier to take action and to do the things that we often put off and avoid. I am in a couple of really big challenges right now. One is a 90-day push, but it's actually a 4-month coaching program to launch my school community. Why? Because I've been here 6 months or so, probably longer than that. And I've got like 51 people in the community, but I have not done the things I know I need to do in order to make that an awesome community and make it successful and create the hub of business knowledge and wisdom and systems and processes and guest speakers and summits. Had a conversation yesterday, which is putting off hard conversations, with a person that I adore, a woman I absolutely adore, that said, hey, we were talking about things that we've done and her biggest challenges, like so many business owners, to get more customers, more people finding her and seeing her and wanting to work with her. She's a hypnotist. And I said, geez, back in 2018, 2019, I did a women's summit and I had 30 women speakers come on and talk about their strategy for getting more customers. I said, would that be something of value? And she's like, yes. So I would imagine we will see a women's summit in the community in the not too distant future. The first time I did it, I did the whole thing, got all the speakers, interviewed everyone, and had it ready to go and launched it in a month. I may or may not do that. We'll see, because I want to talk to a few more people and see what is the most important, urgent thing that you need help with and want help with. And I will tell you, of the tens of thousands of business owners I've interacted with throughout my very long career, having more customers is the number one thing that comes up for everybody, right? It's a universal problem that every business has, right? We always want more people coming to us. It's why there are trillions of dollars of solutions out there available to all of us if it's the right thing for us. But it's how do you filter through all that? How do you know what you should do? There's a couple schools of thought on that, and that's what I'll be exploring over the next few days as part of a challenge called the 100. That's the one challenge. Another challenge is a monetary goal challenge in another community that I'm a member of. And we're getting toward the end of that. So I really want to actually double these two challenges up to give me more power and more ability to actually achieve in both of them. if that makes sense. I like to multiply my efforts, right? And do one thing that positively impacts a whole lot of other things. That's why I create content every day. I know that it keeps me accountable to myself to be consistent and show up and share what's working for me and what's not. I've done a whole lot of stuff in my offline and online career that worked and that a whole lot more that didn't. I think people see snapshots of others online, especially. I don't remember all of this being a thing before the internet came into place. There wasn't any fear of missing out, mainly because you didn't know what was going on with everybody else in the world and in their lives. Nobody shared that stuff. Or you'd share little bits of it, but it was in-person contact that you had. It wasn't, I put up a post and then millions of people can see it and comment on it, etc. Different times we have here. All right, so busy, super busy for probably the next 3 months, but we'll be surprising you with some really cool things coming down the pipe. But you're going to tell me what those things are, because I don't want to just push things out anymore. I want to create what it is that you want to see me create. All right, have an awesome day. If I can help, if you got any ideas, just share or say, hey, I want to chat with you about this, and just put chat in the comments below, and we will set up a time to talk, because that's the best way to find out how I can help and how you can get your needs met. All right, have an awesome day. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.